What's going on, Trader Prod? That program, this is just a script I vibe coded. I'm just showing the terminal output because I don't want to like show anything sensitive. What LLM am I using? Claude. I think it's Claude. I think that's whatever the default is for Cursor. Let me just get a post out for this. Our last KALSHI combo. How's this sound? Our last KALSHI combo experiment was a massive failure. Can we vibe code a working KALSHI combo quote? Can we vibe code? Can we vibe code a working KALSHI combo quoter live? I feel like it's a funny title. I feel like this is, I use Sonnet 4 on Cursor. It's pretty good, or sometimes Grok Code Fast 1. Yeah, I don't know. I just saw Cursor is now they have Cursor 2. So, you know, one doubt, which is your real name if you are doxxed with this? Is this even showing my real name? I don't even have my real name on my computer. Let's see. I mean, what's going on, Jared? Yo, Varun is in these trenches with me. I don't know. Yeah, am I gonna dox myself somehow? All right, I'm gonna hide the cursor outputs. I mean, I could be. Look, if I get doxxed, I get doxxed. Okay, enough people actually know my real name, which is funny. Is that a White Claw call? Of course it's a White Claw. It's a Saturday night, and I have a little bit of a, problem. We're enjoying ourselves. We got some vibe coding going on. All right, but so the goal of this, right, is nice. You did a calendar last night. KALSHI has these combo offerings now, which, they function very similar to like a traditional parlay, right, where people can select multiple legs of a game. So what I'm attempting to do, more so for fun, and I mean maybe long term it's something you could scale, is basically quoting these combos so that I can like take the other side. So like, I think I'm sharing on my screen now. Why is my restream so delayed? Because then I can't tell what I'm sharing. But I'm sharing on my screen now, like, here's a combo that I took the other side of. But if you look at this, have you thought about trying to just take books prices on these combos and get Phil giving books quotes? Yeah, for sure, but like, you have to, I thought about that, but you have to pay, to my knowledge, like decent money to get what they quote for like same game parlays, right? I use my own pricing personally too. What I do is I avoid any same game combos, because those are gonna have like correlation. So I have no idea how to like price correlation. I'm not gonna like try to put it in. Like the thing is there, right? Like for a same game parlay or combo using the approved language, obviously if one of the legs is will a quarterback do like 200 plus yards, and then the other combo is like over points, they're going to be correlated. So, if you try to just quote the independent legs like multiplied by each other, you know what I mean? Like to obviously, like if it's 30% chance 200 plus, it's not going to be, you're going to give you're going to give too good of a price to your counterparty, right? Because if the quarterback does 200 plus yards, meaning he had like a good day, I guess, obviously his chance of doing an over in the game scoring more points is like, you know, pretty high. So you have to like factor in some type of like correlation. Otherwise, you're going to price it too favorably and just get wrecked. So I am avoiding any single game combos because I don't know how to price them. So I'm basically just going to avoid them entirely. I'm working on a tool. Obviously, if you get access to like good data to price them, you could start to do it. But the main thing I'm trying to figure out that, you know, is like, man, I'm quoting some of these at just like absolutely terrible prices. I don't know what is going on with Cursor. I have this set to 1 share, by the way, because I'm trying to test all this. So, and if I'm streaming and like somebody wants to just like try to blow up my portfolio by like getting filled at really good prices, you know, they're only gonna be able to get me 1 share at a time. So they probably hit a rate limit before they blew up my portfolio. But like, look at this. Here's a combo. I don't know what this is because you have to like dig into the rate or in the variable to see what the actual legs are. But I filled this at 99 cents versus, you know, it seems like other people would quote this at 75 cents. So obviously, I quoted this at a terrible price. And what my logic of my script is supposed to do is just look at the individual legs to price these. So let's look at this. I filled this at 99 cents. Probably pretty terrible. I mean, what even is this? Let's see. So I can look in the rulebook variables. Actually, might not have been like that terrible. We can talk math sometimes for pricing these. Yeah, I mean, I think the math behind how I price the multi-game is actually pretty rock solid. But the single game, if you've worked that out, Varun, I definitely would be interested to hear how you're like working through the correlation of it. Like when my prices are going off, it's not because like I don't have the logic there. It's just like Cursor is like somehow messing up in how it's pulling data from the API. How's my audio, by the way? I got a little mic up here, and I got a mic stand, so I don't have to have it like take up space. I got a second monitor today too. So 1 monitor here, 1 monitor here. I can actually like look at stuff. Okay, that's really good, Semper. Good to hear. Are the Blue Jays playing tonight, by the way? That's I don't know how illiquid the individual legs are, but could checking for correlation in individual legs price returns be a viable option? All I do, Varun, is I'm just looking at the ask price for the legs. So theoretically, I'm looking at the absolute, like I'm looking at a favorable price because I'm just looking at the ask. So even if the order book's illiquid, all my script should do is just, might be when we're doing mention markets, yeah, exactly. But if there were in a liquid market, it would only favor me because, well, I say favor, but like, it wouldn't be a risk to me because I would still quote only the ask. So it would just end up that I'd quote a terrible price to the person trying to fill a combo and I probably wouldn't get filled. But like, in theory, I shouldn't have a risk for, you know, blowing up my account. Oh, so you're saying taking historical price for same game legs, checking for correlation returns. Yeah, I just like, that'll probably work. There's just, yeah, you could definitely do it. I just feel like there's so many things you have to consider. Okay, what I'm trying to find is like, I want to know exactly why it's filling these. That's such a bad, I mean, this one looks like it was an okay price. I probably could have gone lower. But it's clearly pulling the wrong market. All right, so I'm gonna run this again. Okay, so I'll show you. I mean, It's kind of fun. You can see I have some resting orders out, right? But my, yeah, to get a value on how correlated legs are, yeah, exactly. But like, if I build it, you run it for me, I don't have capital to make it worth the work. All right, I'm honestly down, Barum. Let's talk more. But, because like right now I'm about to pay a ton of money for like some sports analytics stuff. But, okay, you see my limit orders right now, right? I have some set for the mayoral election. I have some set for him and hers. That was from stream last night where we were looking at this together. Then I have some set for the announcer game. So these are all my limit orders. Now I'm gonna basically run the script, and you'll see it'll show my like requests here temporarily. Okay, so I'm gonna run the script now. Enable trading. So now it's just gonna go for 1 share, because again, I don't want to risk getting this whole thing blown up. Okay, so we have it running now. We should start to see some quotes come in. I'll hit refresh. Wow, it's going kind of slow in the beginning. Just make sure which ones I already know I have. Like, man, I feel these at terrible prices. But that's why I turned it down to 1 share. Did I see the Kairos news launch? No, I did not. Let's see. Dang. This freaking blew up. 260K?
Yo, if I could do it, then why can't you? Get up and make it work. Ain't no way that I'm sitting around. It's now or never, I'm picking it first. You can't tell me that I won't make it. Knew that I had the skills since birth. Grinding, came out the mud like Roddy. I had no body, I came from dirt. Still came fuck up.
Dang, that's pretty sick. I need to know who your editor is. I want to make edits like this. All my edits are boring. But this was the first edit. I like this one because this one was not slop. Usually only my slop content goes big, but this was the first one that was actually informative, that got some traction. So I'm gonna try to do more of these types of clips. As much as I like to shit post, I'll always shit post, guys. So that's that'll always be there. But okay, so we're getting some RFQs. Let's see what's going on. Look at these. All right, here we go. It's working in action. You can see all these. It looks terrible in the UI because let me move this to the right. These are so long, the combos. A few solid clippers. Yeah, I've worked with clippers before. I mean, the issue with clipping that can be hard is like, you really have to kind of be like a subject matter expert and know the ecosystem really well to be like a very successful clipper, because it's hard to find good clips. But anyways, but you can see, just trying to get some requests. All right, this is our only 1 share right now. This is the one we got at 99 cents. So as soon as I fill another one, I'm gonna see what price we're filling it at, and then I'm just gonna like understand where it's going wrong. Yeah, but I'm excited, Jay, for that terminal. That is going to be very cool. Just using terminals in general. Update on the week. I'm going to post about it tomorrow, but, holy shit, peanut butter is fucking killing this week. Plus 340K on the week. My God. Yeah, generational run. But, we're up a little over 2K. I think right now we're up 2.5K since last week, which, great, That's like 5 weeks where I'm averaging about 2,500 profit each week, which is great. I'm happy with it, but like, I got to start running those numbers up. I need to take more risks for sure. Maybe even expanding outside of mentioned markets. I think mentioned markets are still gonna be fire, still gonna be hot, but I'm gonna top off my portfolio to. I'm gonna add 20K to this that I just have sitting in cash right now because I have a lot of expenses, and with that I'll be able to like bond a lot more things. So like, this whole EA earnings call. I mean, people are still like, we made about $1,000. I mean, we'll make even more on this already just because it's not happening. But like, people are still filling at 85 cents. I don't know if they're just saying that because they think maybe the final deal won't like officially go through or something. But, in Mamdani, like we did 5K shares at 87. Great, but I probably should have gone bigger here. So I think when I add 20K to my port, I'll feel a little more comfortable to just take some really big, quote unquote bonds of, because ideally I want to have like, if I say 60K that I'm going to be trading with, I want to have 40K in things that are going to generate me like at least 5% a month, just as like for my idle cash. And then I'll use the liquid 20K for like higher returning mentions, stuff that's happening now. But I wanna start taking more risks, sizing up. It's crazy to think though, if we had not lost on that, Powell market, which we lost like what 2,700 on earlier this week. Yeah, had we not lost this 2,700, had we won this, we would have been up like $6,000 this week. So obviously, is Ole Miss gonna win it all this year? It's a great question. I do think Ole Miss is gonna win it all this year. I mean, what time is Ole Miss, South Carolina? That's at 7 p.m. But I gotta check NCAA scores. Hopefully, the big thing to watch for, Evan, is Georgia's gonna lose to Florida tonight. I'm calling it. So Georgia loses to Florida. That's gonna be great for Ole Miss. Is there anyone else that could really lose today? I mean, to be honest, I am a little worried for this whole South Carolina Ole Miss game. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, had we not lost on that Powell trade, we'd be up like 6K this week. So I'm glad we took some more risks this week, but I'm going to keep taking more risks. We made a lot of money from our bonds this week, so I'm going to keep allocating more cash to that and, trying to size up, get into trades earlier. Let's see. Are we still not filling any of these? I mean, I think because I'm like removing same game, not getting a lot of orders. Let me see. I'll pull my cursor back up. I think I'm not doxing anything. So we can see the RFQs come in, but it's very slow. I feel like there's way more RFQs they should be quoting. In the mentions world, I guess, we got the Trump MAGA dinner tonight. What time is this supposed to be? What do I mean by bonds? I did write a piece on this a little while ago. Let me pull it up. So I scrolled too far. Okay. Okay, first let me answer Jew Bob, who's asking from YouTube. So when I say bonds, I'm talking about very high probability events. So typically things you're buying in the range of 80 to 99 cents. So very high probability events of resolving in your favor. But also they trade at a discount to what their true probability should be. So having traded on prediction markets for a really long time, in Kalshi especially, like events that are very likely to happen tend to be underpriced. So most users, it's human nature. You come on these platforms, you're a retail user trying to have fun, you want to go for more long shots. So because of that, I think what's most frequently mispriced on prediction markets are events that should have a true fair value of occurring of say 99%. This could be both on the yes or no side. So it should be priced at 99%, but it tends to be priced at say 90 cents or 95 cents. I think that is the biggest mispricing that happens frequently on prediction markets. And because of that, I want to allocate say 60-70% of my portfolio to just holding these kind of steady return, quote unquote, bond positions. Obviously there's risks with everything, but I think these tend to be mispriced. So I want to allocate like some size to this so that it'll give me steady gains, and then I can also focus on mentions and other things in the moment. So that's what I mean when I talk about bonds. You'll hear a lot of different terms for bonds too, like bonding something usually means you're like buying it at 99, so you're kind of eating the whole order book. Cockapoo, what am I trying to do with the scripts? So this script, which I just have like the terminal output, this is just something I vibe coded to basically quote the other side of combos, or which are referred to on other platforms as like, say parlays. The official Kalshi term is combos. And requests will come in for someone basically wanting to get a combo. So if they go on the Kalshi app and then they put in their combination that they want, say they're like, I want the Eagles, I want Aaron Rodgers, first touchdown, XYZ, and they'll say, what price am I going to get? That then sends a quote request through Kalshi's RFQ system, request for quote system, and then you can look at that and you can respond to the quote. So it basically allows you to take the other side of these combos, so I'm quoting prices to them. You can see I'm doing one share right now because I'm trying to like tighten up my whole pricing thing, and then obviously I'm streaming it, so somebody, I don't want my prices to be bad. Somebody comes in and just like tries to nuke my portfolio. Is there any VIG or it's straight up for the parlays? Seems high risk, low reward. I am including a VIG, so I'm pricing it pretty like you can see, like, to look here. So if we look at this one, let me move this screen so you can see it. So here's one that I quoted. I quoted at 83 cents. If you see here for this pro football combo, you see cost. I gave them 17 cents. And the other people were going to give them 18.8 cents. But so I'm kind of being my prices, I got the best prices out here. But the way I'm getting VIG is I'm using the ask price of each individual leg. So I'm looking, my script will look, if somebody is playing Eagles and they're playing Aaron Rodgers first TD, it will look at the independent markets. It'll say what's Eagles is priced at 50%, Aaron Rodgers first TD is priced at 25%. So we'll say 50% times 25%, which is 12.5%. So that would imply that I should be quoting 87.5. But then I'll add a penny and I'll say 88.5. So I'm getting a little bit of VIG from only quoting the ask prices on each leg, and that's just going to compound, right? like, because I'm taking the ask as they do more and more legs, my supposed vig will just compound. And then also I'm adding like a penny on the top just to be safe at the end. I could probably price these more aggressively to be even more like vig in my favor, but I'm just trying to test it out, work out some, because the thing about this is obviously anyone can respond to these quotes, so it gets competitive in the end result. I think right now there's not as deep liquidity, so you know, you can be a little more aggressive in how you kind of respond to these quotes. But in the long run, it's going to be like a race to the bottom where whoever's willing to take a smaller and smaller vig and offer better and better prices will get more fills. Careful on the Trump dinner. It's probably not being televised tonight. I actually did hear that, Hunter. So I think if you look at the Trump dinner, the no's are priced like super high because of it. And based on the research I did, Hunter, even though I have no plays in this market, I think it's pretty likely that, you know, they will not televise it, but there could be like one network that just happens to. Gotta be careful, people manipulating these liquid smaller markets than hammering you on the parlay. Yeah, that could for sure happen. The way I guess I assume that I'd be able to get around it is the fact that I'm using the ask prices, so I'm not using like the bid, not using the midpoint. So that means they would have to put out a limit order at a very bad price on one of these. And I don't know how long that would stand in the order book and people not just like immediately eat the shares because they're at like a bad price. But yeah, I mean, that's true. So long term, I definitely shouldn't use Kalshi markets as my baseline to price the combos probably. I should probably use, you know, an external system. But, you know, I whip this together. It's more so just fun. I want to start using Kalshi's API more just for like general trading. So I'm learning a bit by doing this. But yeah, it's unfortunate if they really don't televise that Trump dinner. Because, you know, Trump was in Asia. We got a lot of mentions for it, but they were all like late at night. I want, you know, Trump to go back to his regularly scheduled kind of programming. You know, where we can just start having his daily, like, random speeches. And then also I want Caroline Leavitt to come back. But we have some earnings calls next week, so I did, you know, get some positions for him and hers. FDA's. Man, FDA's pumped since I last tried to get some shares. I think as soon as you put in, like for an early market like this, as soon as you put in like a limit order with size, whatever the market makers are will just like move the market. Alright, are we getting any more fills? I'm being like super picky on which quotes I respond to now, because I removed any same game, you know, combos. What's up, Foster? Look at this, Foster. I've only gotten 2 fills during this stream, and you can see this one was terrible price, so I'm losing a whole quarter. What's up, Logan? Not quoting many or just not best price? I think probably a mix of both, because I'm being super exclusive on which ones I respond to. You know, only doing multi-games. Because before, I tried to filter. I'm on a different mic. Well, it is kind of far away. So I have a, let me make sure I am using the actual mic though. I'm using the same mic, but I put it farther away because I got a stand for my mic and I don't want it to like block everything. Let me see. Let me try something. All right, let me spin this around. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, now it comes into frame. All right, how's this? Is this even better? Still a little bit into frame. Oh man, look at what Foster made me do. We had it good. Alright, I'll let this run. Not getting many fills. I gotta get something. Audio's better? Good. Foster, we gotta get something that lets us quote these same game combos. Otherwise, I wonder if it's just too like liquidity's kind of low at like this time. Maybe everybody's looking at college football. But like, look at how I filled some of these. Like I gave this at 91 cents. This probably should have been 70 cents. I gave this one at 99 cents. I gave a 200 plus QB yards and over 48 points. My freaking script quoted this at gave him 100 to 1 on something that should be like maybe 40 cents for their part. So pretty terrible price there. But looking ahead, I mean, in terms of like mentions, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we have Miles Teller during SNL. I guess SNL's starting to like pick up in volume. So we should start to look at this more. Does SNL have a season though? Or is it just legitimately every Saturday? Because if it's legitimately every Saturday, I should invest the time in, you know, figuring out how to price it. Let's see. Oh, so it's only, okay, it's October to May. $20 to 22 new episodes total per season. Most times every Saturday, then like a 7-month break. No alpha on this. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, I am excited for the new categories. You're huge on Zoran No for Miles Teller? Really? What is your fair value of this strike? And why? Do you have a fair value for Zoran No? Like, what did you get filled at? Let's see. Miles Teller historically has never talked about. What does Miles Teller even look like? I know who this person is, but oh, this guy. I love War Dogs, so. Is he from New York? Why would you even talk about Mamdani? Shares at 70 cents. When do they like air the preview clips for SNL? Because I want to put a limit order out, but I guess they don't, right? Because it's actually live. Alright, I'll put a limit order out. I will end this, let's say, 8:30. Preview clips aren't from the show itself. Okay. They do a rehearsal. Alright, we'll see. If my limit orders get smacked, then we'll know. Alright, time to check in. How are these combos doing? And I'm getting nothing. The annoying thing with these combos is like, in order for someone to be able to see, or at least this is my understanding, in order for someone to like see a price in the app that they could get for the combo, they have to first put together the combo and then that sends a quote request. So like the strike rate of actually filling your quotes is like 1%, because every time they're on the app and they're like picking teams, it's just going to send a request for quote. So oftentimes they're just checking what price they can get. Says expire soon before rehearsal, before 8 p.m. Okay, I'll update it. Loxy, are you bonding anything right now? Or is like your cash fully liquid outside of mentions? We should do like a series where like me and Foster meet as part of Loxy, as part of your road to 10K by the end of the year. We should do like weekly videos where it's like a check-in with like you, me, Foster, and you're talking through your rationale for all your plays, and like Foster's giving advice, and then it'll be like turning Loxy into like one of the best mentioned traders. I feel like that could be good content. Where is my Zoran order? Oh my gosh, look at all these freaking things it's quoting. Yes, Kamani Vidal, Lad McConkey, Grande, Justin Herbert. Like teacher grading a student. Yeah, I feel like it'd be funny. Alright, I'll set this to 8 p.m. Oh, I got jumped. How high are they going to jump me? Let's see. I want to see this first. Will they jump me at 40? Looks like I can stay at 40. So I'll just set this to 8 p.m. Cancel the 8:31. What's up, Nick? You would watch it, you, Bob? Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good series. It's like from unprofitable to profitable, and then it's just like, you know, we're going over every week, learnings, lessons. That's content right there. Okay, I set this November 1st, right? All right, while this is running in the background, I'm gonna start just looking at some of these earnings. So we have Palantir is also November 3rd. Semper was talking to me about Palantir, that he feels pretty good about, I think it was the acquisition price. because I guess Palantir just did something with, was it Amazon or something? Let's see, let me pull up my transcripts. Hopefully I have Palantir in here. Yes, I do. Amazing. Wow, I didn't know Palantir has been public for this long. Going back to 2020? Palantir is going to say lethal 50 plus. Let's see, how often do they actually say lethal? Not that much. I don't know how I feel about a lethal 50 plus strike, but I don't know, lethal at 66. Like, is that fair? Yeah, I mean, I'll bid lethal at this price. Set these all good to canceled. So they got 2 days. Definitely like lethal in the 60s. Alright, let's check again. Any fills? I feel like I'm not getting many fills because I just made it so boring where, oh, I got a fill. Alright, we quoted 83 versus 81. That's a good price. I'll take that. I mean, that means I could probably make my quotes a little more aggressive by like another penny, but I'm happy with that. I just want to keep watching my script until it messes up so that I can figure out why it messed up, because it will sporadically quote like everything correctly and then all of a sudden it'll quote something at like a terrible price, and I just need to figure out like what's bugging. Hadian at 74. What does this even relate to? Oh, they partnered in September 2025, so after last earnings call. I mean, Hadian seems priced pretty cheaply. Is this just not a big enough partnership? Like they just partnered. Hadian yes is 64%. Interesting. Well, I'm just wondering how big of a company Hadian is. Because I guess if it's not that big, they might not mention it. Because like looking at this, I only see a few mentions. Let's see. Let's see who Palantir has partnered with in the past. Yeah, I saw that Semper. I was talking about that earlier. I might load up on that. All right, let's see. Here's a few notable past partnerships for Hadean and BAE Systems. How large is BAE Systems? Let's see. Did they mention BAE Systems? BAE. Large British contractor. I mean, is there another term for BAE? Because like they didn't mention BAE Systems. Let's see, when BAE Systems and Palantir. I guess that was a long time ago. Yeah, that was back in February 2020. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. It was showing me Hadean partnerships. I don't want to see Hadean. Okay, so they partnered with Accenture, which is a consulting firm. This was in June. So did they talk about Accenture? I guess they've always kind of been partnered with Accenture, but they partnered with Databricks in March 2025 for like AI. And there's no Databrick mention. Let's see. Big Bear AI. Thoughts on HIMS, Amazon, yes. I mean, it was said in Q4, Q1, and Q2, but when I looked at that strike yesterday, it was only said, to my knowledge, mainly, at least in Q1 and Q2, because they hired a new COO who was like head of operations or something at Amazon. So I think the reason it's priced so low for yes, even though historically it's been mentioned a lot, is because, you know, they were talking about the COO having come from Amazon. So I think since they brought it up on the last two earnings call, the guy's been there probably at least 6 months now. Probably a lot less likely they're going to keep talking about him having come from Amazon. But I could see some value in 35 cents because I think in Q4 it wasn't even related to him being the COO that they mentioned Amazon. I think it was just like they were sporadically talking about Amazon. So I'm personally not playing the strike because I just think it's tough. But you know, there could be value in yes. I'm just looking elsewhere. I think you can get more value than taking yes there because I think it's unlikely they're gonna mention it. You know, again relating to the COO, so they'd have to bring up Amazon just in like general conversation, which they can do. It's just not as likely. partnered with Google Cloud. Maybe that's more related. FedRAMP. I don't know how I feel about the Sadian strike. Like, they didn't mention Booz Allen Hamilton. Let me turn the lights on. So what I'm just checking on the Sadian strike, I know I'm just harping on this, but like, in any of their other partnerships, it doesn't look like they've like called them out. But let's see, like, how much bigger is this partnership? So here's what I'm looking at. Oh, I can't show it. Of course, I'm in ChatGPT on OneNote, but so they partnered with Lumen Technologies for $200 million back in October 2025. Investing.com is making me create an account. All right, they partnered with Boeing They have to mention Boeing. Wow. Yeah, I am 100% on Hadian no. Maybe I'm missing something. I based on what I can find, I really like that play. But let's check back. Are we getting any more fills? We did get some more fills. We quoted 99 cents for this versus 97 cents. Is this an accurate price? Let's see. Holy cow. Okay, yeah, we can quote 99. This is like 100 legs. Man, look at this. We just, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 leg combo. Interesting. We just took the other side of. Any thoughts on AI growth for Palantir? Let's see. How often am I targeting the liquidity rewards? Not enough. I was looking at that with Foster. I need to start targeting them more because they're starting to get big. Like they're doing like $500 liquidity rewards. So I definitely need to start targeting those more. You can make great money on them. It's like if you just market make these liquidity rewards. And honestly, now that I'm learning how to use the API, I need to just be a market maker more and just like, market make using the API in more automated fashion than just manually doing all this. But let me see. I can get to just update the scores really quick for college football. Really? You're thinking when I look up NC, like it's very obvious what I'm asking for. Hopefully Florida can win this. Kinda rooting for, I hope Notre Dame wins this. Isn't the cash out kind of funky? I don't know, I've never had issues. But let me see, what are my rewards? It shows me like over here. I've made like, what is it, like $11 lifetime on liquidity rewards. So I definitely need to pump these up. Isn't there like a way to view liquidity rewards in like a really easy format? Where you can like filter? Maybe this was just on Foster's tool that I was looking at. Let's see. Am I wrong? Isn't there a way I can like easily see all the markets with liquidity rewards? Incentive program. Oh, here it is. Wow, this is an interesting market. Huh. is this being priced? What are the independent margin markets look like? Wow. How is this price so wide? Like, you're really telling me 0 to 12 is all a completely equal chance? Holy cow, too. These order books are pretty deep. All at a 1 cent spread. Dang, those liquidity rewards are doing are like definitely working. I mean, look how deep these are. Is it even on for this? I assume it's on for this market, but wow, it might not even be on for this market. It's just really good liquidity. And then Zoron's looking at, oh my gosh, 24% is priced at 12 cents. Could really be that high. What is this, 29? So all these markets have like 103% implied pricing of Mamdani winning, which is kind of funny. You can get no's at 94 here versus alright, this one's good. Alright, so it's quoting some of these at good prices. Okay. I don't know what the heck happened on this one. Why was this 99 cents? Yeah, I do agree they are kind of more hidden, like they should be more public. Where they show liquidity rewards. But this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is a 6 like combo I gave for 99 cents. Maybe that's not a terrible price. Hello, Carissa. If it wasn't more hidden, then would it be considered an incentive reward? Wow, why is my portfolio is declining? What's going down? Alpha Arena's going down a bit. Probably that. How is this down to 87? Holy. Claude is coming back. But what, this ends on the 3rd? Deep Seek almost blew itself up. Foster, I'm scared. I have $8,000 on this market. Are you still holding, Foster? This might be the first bond blow up. Who's underneath DeepSeek in purple? Claude. Wait, so DeepSeek is now long short. Quen is now just long Bitcoin. What is happening? DeepSeek was like, look how pumped these guys were doing. I guess all of crypto tanked, so everybody tanked. So, all right, if you're not too worried, because what, there's 2 days left of this, Foster, so we'll be okay. To explain this, guys, this is like some AI trading race between the models. I have 8,000 shares basically that DeepSeek and Quen will hold the lead. And it's getting a little close towards the end, but I think we're fine. Yeah, I'm not even only on DeepSeek. I'm on DeepSeek and Quen. We got in, but this was like sub 80 cents. It was priced really bad, but hopefully they still hold. All right, but let me go back. Palantir. Man, I'm getting jumped at 29. Let me go to 30. If it's super tanks, Claude will win, but it has super slim. Okay, I'll take the risk, honestly. I think they were underpriced, yeah. So I'm taking the plus EV plays. You know, if it turns against me, I'll try to hedge it. But yeah, for Palantir, I think right now I like Hadian. I'll see if I can get into this before Monday. Hopefully size up some plays. Maybe I'll do a write-up on this, but yeah. Alright guys, I gotta run to dinner for someone's birthday, but we'll be back tomorrow. We might be doing a Spaces tomorrow actually on just a week ahead in trading. Might be joined by Foster in the comments. He's agreed, so he can't back out of it. Then Tuesday, more details to come on the mayoral election stream, but I'm probably gonna stream the entire election like till midnight. And maybe even have some guests in person. It's the whole reason I'm in New York. So, but I gotta get like a couch behind me. I still have all these Home Depot boxes. Still a lot of moving in to be done, but we'll be back tomorrow. Then we'll be back Monday. Thanks for tuning in, guys.